rules and to start earning entries.
The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and online at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome into the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer, founder and executive president of First Shot, and I have a young man that I think is probably one of the most talented young coaches that we've seen in quite some time. I want to welcome in Coach Matt Insell.
Hey, thank you for having me, Andy. Really appreciate it today.
So I want people to know by the end of this hour, Matt Insell, the man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me 3 things that define you and drive you.
Really, what really drives me is my family, in particular my immediate family with my wife, Autumn, and my son Clark, and my daughter Evie. And
who's a rock star now?
Yeah, Evie.
She blew up bigger than you guys did.
She was more. It was funny. So she was on the obviously ESPN highlighted her during the tournament, and so we beat Louisville. And the next morning, I go down to the lobby, and she walks down with me to breakfast, and we're going to the team room to have breakfast. And we come out of the team room, and she's walking in front of me, just playing and doing what a 3-year-old would do. And some lady out of the restaurant there at the hotel runs out and says, "Is this the little girl that was on TV?" And I was like, "Yesterday, yeah, that's her. Can we have a picture with her?" So she was already taking pictures with people at 3 years old. So she loves it. And my son, and I wake up every morning and they are what drives me. They are the ones that keep me going every day. And the one thing I don't ever want to do is let them down. And that's something I tell them every day.
But it's also the culture of what your mom have built too.
Yeah, growing up in a basketball family, and my childhood. I tell my friends this all the time, and they used to make fun of me, but it ends up shaping me who I was. Is when school got out at 3 o'clock, my friends would go to different places and hang out at different homes. I'd get on a school bus from another school, the middle school or the elementary, and then go to the high school and have to sit and watch Dad's practice to 5:30 and do your homework sitting in the bleachers and trying to figure out a quarter off the ground that you can get a drink out of the drink machine, that kind of thing. But growing up in the gym, my mom and my dad, just every little thing that we needed as a family, they worked real hard to make sure they could provide that for us. And we didn't have a lot, but the one thing we did have was basketball and love for each other. And our vacations in the summer, we didn't go to the beach. We would go on AAU trips. We would go to different places across the country with AAU teams, and that's something that we would look forward to. We'd know where our vacation would be in Amarillo, Texas. Our vacation would be in Lafayette, Louisiana, or Shreveport, Louisiana, or Cleveland, Ohio, because that's where the AAU Nationals were that year, and we had teams that were going there.
So growing up, going to all those places,
Mm-hmm.
all those different things, I've always said, I've been in most states,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen most states
Mm-hmm.
because we were so locked in and focused. And I see you guys at practice, how locked in
Mm-hmm.
you are. You all have a drive. And talk about that. Besides just family, what else drives Matt Insell?
Winning. It's I was sitting on my porch last night rewatching our Louisville game and watching that game, and I was getting chill bumps because just winning is what really drives the everyday aspect of it. And how can we win? And doing it the right way. Obviously, a lot of people want to win, and they cut corners and they do different things like that, where we want to do it the right way with hard work. And work never stops. We were just talking about this the off season, and people ask me all the time, "Do you ever get dead time?" No, I don't. I'm going to the beach next week with my family, and I'm still going to be on the phone, working things on the phone, listening to podcasts when I'm running in the morning. I'm really studying right now a little bit of Danny Hurley and how he does things, and listening to different podcasts and different clinics that he's been a part of, and trying to learn as much as you can, because the off season really becomes the learning season. Because when you get in the season, you're so engraved in what you're doing with your team and how can we grow every single day. And the off season is how can I grow? How can I learn more and continue to grow as a coach, and then also help our team grow during this time of the year. And we was just talking about one of our newcomers that's already on campus, and growing that relationship and working with her right now this time of the year, and working with our returners this time of the year, and just not doing as much team stuff as just individual stuff, and helping them become better players and also better people.
So Matt, you said you're listening to Danny Hurley. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's figured this portal out.
Yeah.
What are a couple takeaways you've gotten from Dan Hurley that you're going to incorporate into
one of the biggest things, and Tom Hodges and I talked about this the other day, is one of the things that when he makes a phone call to a recruit, if their first question is about NIL, he hangs up the phone, because they're not about being what they're about there. Now, as we get in, and that's our approach as well, when we talk to recruits, and that's one of the things that we're going to implement, and we've talked about as a staff, is in particular in the portal, a lot of times when you call a portal player, the first question they got is, what are you going to give me? And we haven't talked about our university yet. We haven't talked about winning 30 games and how we're going to work with you, how we're going to help you become a pro. They're asking, how much money can you give me? And if that's what their objective is that what they're looking for, then we're probably not the place for you. And that's the one thing that I've taken from him. And you can see that in his teams, is as hard as they play and as much as he pushes them, and he pushes them really hard, and he talks about that to them, and we talk about that to our players too, is being upfront and honest with you, is that we're going to push you really hard, and we're going to get the best out of you that way.
We were talking off air before the show, and I said something that I'll just use it this way. If people would understand what they're getting from your dad and your staff, mm-hmm. that they're getting a Hall of Fame education, instead of what can I get from middle, what can I give mm-hmm. to middle, what can and I don't know if that's ever going to switch, Matt. I think it's going to get worse because of the portal and because of the likeness money. So how do you guys keep your culture? Because what you've built, the culture of hard work. Anytime I go over there, mm-hmm. walk in, there's somebody there from your team practicing or working on their game. How do you keep that culture?
It starts in recruiting, recruiting the right type of player, the player that wants that wants to work, the families that want to work. We do a lot of, when we recruit, when we go to a summer basketball tournament, I'm going to Houston in 2 weeks to watch some players. I try to figure out who their parents are in the crowd. I watch them. If we got a mom or a dad at the top of the crowd that's screaming at the coach and trying to coach from the crowd, that's not our culture. That's not our type of player that we want. If we got a player that's being very selfish that we're watching, it's probably not who we want. We want team players. We want players that are student athletes that want to be coached, that want to work hard every single day, that come off the floor and cheer for their teammates. All of those things are important to us when we go out recruiting. And so when you start setting your culture, it's trying to find, when you find those players, we got 3 players committed in 2025 right now, and I'm super excited about all 3 of them because they fit that. And at the same time, they average a bunch of points and they're winning, but they fit that culture of team first. And if you have a team first mentality, your individual accolades are going to come. And we tell them that in the summer a lot, is the summer is meant for you to get better as an individual, not us as a team. And if you can get better as an individual, then when we start bringing it together as a team, then we're going to be a better team. Now, there's only so much that we can do with you because of the NCAA rules, whether it be 4 hours a week in the summer, in the spring, in the fall. And then when the season starts, you get to 20 hours a week as a team in terms of practice and weights and all that. But outside of that time, you have to continue to work if you want to be really good. I told people this. Our point guard 2 years ago, Dorsar, the little Israeli point guard that we had, and for those listening at home, she's doing really good right now. Obviously, her country's in war, but her family and her are safe right now, which is really good for them. But everybody asked me, what are you going to miss about her? Like, what's the one thing that you're going to miss? Because she was here for 1 year and she made such an impact on our program, because we were a little bit there where we had some situations there going on with some transfers and things like that, that your culture can change a little bit. And she brought it back. She came in and just kept it on the straight and narrow there. And, I said, what are you going to miss the most about her? A lot of people was like, I'm going to miss her three-point shooter, and I want to miss this or that. What I miss the most about her is every morning at 8 o'clock when I walked into the office, she was in the gym. She was the first person I saw every single morning. And that wasn't me or Dad or Kim or Nina telling her that you had to do that. It's just what she did. Now, by her doing that, she set an example for Jalen Gregory. She set an example for all the players, Anastasia Bodareva, that were playing with her. And next thing you know, the following year, I walk in, the last 2 years, it's been Jalen Gregory's in there every morning. And she learned that from her. And the one thing that we talk to Jalen about all the time is, who's the next you? Not the next you in terms of shooting it from 35 feet or making a bunch of threes and all that. Who's the next you that's going to carry that on? Because you're going to be gone next year. So you're a senior this coming year. What one of these young kids that's in our program are you going to pass it down to? Then they can pass it to somebody else, and it just keeps going.
So let's talk about your 6 seniors.
Yes, sir.
You're going to be old next year, experience.
Mm-hmm.
Point guard position. Talk about what you're still trying to fill a little bit of that hole, I know. Talk about the girl that sat this year with the broken foot. Mm-hmm. What are her strengths?
She was Miss Basketball coming out of high school. She was ranked as a top 100 player in the country coming out of high school, and coming to her first practice and has a great workout with us last summer. Goes and tells our trainer, my foot's not right. It hasn't felt right for about 5 or 6 months. But it's fine. It's not enough pain. I'm worried about it. It's fine. Well, they do MRI on her, and the smallest bone in your foot she has broke, which also is a bone that if she would have pivoted the wrong way, she could have crippled herself for life. And so we got that bone fixed, and that put her out for the whole season, which we knew it was going to be a season-ending injury. And so with her coming back, she's still coming back. She won't be full strength probably until the fall, because we're just taking our time with everything and trying to get her ready for the first game. And then with her coming back, she's going to be a major player on our team. We're also in the process of signing and working towards signing a senior point guard. Would be a transfer that comes in that would be a senior that would give us 2 great option, and we're excited about the possibility of that next player, that one more player that we're going to sign. I can't really say who that is right now, but we're excited about that possibility of happening over the next 5 or 6 days, 7 days. And so we get that gives you some experience there, because we got experience everywhere else with Jalen Gregory coming back as a 4-year starter, the 2 guard. You got Tamia Scott that
so
had to,
before you go to a 4-year starter doesn't happen very often with a coach Rick Insell team. So talk about her a little bit more, how special she's been.
Yep.
And again, you're telling her she's passing down a legacy, but tell us the 3 things about her that fans want to know.
The one thing that a 4-year starter, I'll talk on that. That's hard to do inside of Dad's program, because freshmen know coming in, and we tell them this in recruiting, that you're going to have to be special if you're going to play as a freshman. And they know that because the older kids have been around. They've been through the war with us, and they know how we do things and the experience they have. And so Jalen coming in, the one thing that we were criticized a little bit from recruiting her by some former players and things like that. Oh, she's not good enough, and my daughter don't need to play with this player, that. And from day one, Jalen stepped on the floor as I'm not going to be denied. And, the thing with her is her work ethic, her will to win, her toughness. And on top of that, Derek Mason comes in, doesn't really know our team. He comes in at Christmas, January, February, and he comes to a lot of our games, sees a lot of practices. And he said, I don't really know her, but I pity the guy that's going to marry her, because how tough she is out on the basketball floor. when you talk to her off the floor, it's a total different personality. She's not even like, you wouldn't even believe for 1 second that little girl that's in every scuffle there is, that they have to go to the monitor at least once a game because she's made somebody on the other team mad and they've cheap shotted her across the head or something like that, is who she is when you meet her off the floor. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is she could play professional basketball. She has a lot of international people in Europe are very interested in her, but she doesn't have an interest in that, and she wants to coach, and she wants to be a college basketball coach. She's come in about a year ago and said this is what she wants to do, and she's going to stay on. She's going to play next year. She's going to stay on as a GA with us and start learning how to coach. She's a very mature person. She knows what she wants. She knows how to get there. She understands right now that her decisions as a college student could hurt her in the future if she wants to be a college coach or a professional coach. And who knows, she could be the next Pat Summitt. She has that kind of mentality about her, and I'm excited about her future. I told her I may be working for her one day, and so she laughs about that, but it could be the truth, because when I'm about 65, I need one of these jobs that these people get that they can just show up.
Consultant.
Yeah, consultant and make $100,000 as a consultant. So, Jalen, if you're listening, you're going to have to hire me one day to do that. But an incredible person, incredible family, very supportive. There's not very many games that her mom, her dad, or her grandparents aren't at. They travel and watch her and never say a word. And you never hear a negative word from them. They get mad at her some. But they usually parents get mad at the coaches a lot, and they may get mad at us at home, but into our face they never do. And when she plays great, she plays great. If she doesn't, we still can't take her off the floor because of her leadership. And she's figured this thing out. Is she may not shoot it well every night, but she can defend, and she guards the other team's best player, and should have been all defensive in our league this year, but the coaches didn't vote her there. So, but she's an incredible player.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk a little bit more about the ladies playing for you, Matt.
Yes, sir.
The day starts early on May the 10th.
I loaded the sweet corn, the potatoes.
Just before sunrise.
Dad got the fresh cut bacon on there.
Farmers throughout Middle Tennessee prepare their load.
All right, guys, load them up.
Of what they're bringing to the farmers market.
Sounds like we're good to go.
The Rutherford County Farmers Market, a producer-only farmers market at the Rutherford County Lane Agri Park in Murfreesboro.
I'm so glad you guys are back.
We enjoy meeting our customers.
My daughter loves the sweet potatoes.
Well, thank you.
The Rutherford County Farmers Market at the Lane Agri Park, opening 7 to noon the second Friday in May.
At Middle Point, we want to be part of the solution. That's why we're making significant investments in proactively enhancing our facilities to integrate sustainable solutions.
Mike Klassen with Middle Point Landfill.
We invite you to learn more about us at middlepointlandfill.com.
Middle Point Landfill is an environmentally safe, economical, and reliable solution for solid waste for Rutherford County.
Republic Services, we are sustainability in action.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people, and much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2023. Save 60%. Code 2023. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Adam's Place was a very, very good thing for us to do at our ages or earlier, because I would have been more able to do a lot of the things that are here for us to help us keep feeling younger.
I saw this young lady with her father. She said, yeah, I'm trying to convince my dad that it's better to move in 5 years earlier than 5 minutes too late.
I'm Terry Deal. Call me from about Adam's Place. Phone 615-904-9111. Memorial Boulevard, across from Walmart.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
Now, WGNS Good Neighbor Events. If you're grieving the loss of a loved one, there are 2 grief support groups here in town. One is every Wednesday morning at 10 at the St. Clair Street Senior Center. And the other is a walking grief support group. And the walking group meets every Thursday morning at 9:30 in the pavilion at Oaklands Park. By the way, they're both free. The Red Cross is still critically low on blood. Our Murfreesboro Red Cross is at 501 Memorial Boulevard. Call the Red Cross and make an appointment to give blood at a time that fits your schedule. Phone 800-RED-CROSS. Also, the weekend brings the Borough Barbecue Festival. It's over at the Tennessee Miller Coliseum this Saturday from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. The Borough Barbecue Festival. And the 23rd Annual Earth Day is on the Murfreesboro Square this Saturday. This year's theme, Think Green, Planet versus Plastics. And our hats off to Middle Tennessee Electric for again being the primary sponsor. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We have good chances for showers and thunderstorms today if a high near 81. We'll have more chances for showers and thunderstorms tonight if a low around 65. I'm staff meteorologist Michael Cotter on News Radio WGNS. Right now it's 68 degrees.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. MTE's Plugged In podcast focuses on the world of electric vehicles. Stay up to date on the EV world, hear interviews with experts, and more. Listen on your favorite podcast platform or visit mte.com/pluggedin.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome into the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer, founder and executive president of First Shot. Back with my guest, Coach Matt Insell. Matt, we were talking about your players. Let's get to my favorite, and I don't know why. I just like how she has developed. Tia Scott.
Yeah, she's really good, and again, developed, and is a big part of what you said. Coming out of high school, she was just so much athletic than everybody else, and when she got here, she realized that, you know, there's equally athletic people in terms of who you're playing against, and so she had to catch her skill up with her athleticism, and she did that. Another one that's in the gym nonstop. I get messages all the time of just people walking through Murphy Center at 7 o'clock at night for a function and send me a video of her shooting. She fits that culture of who we are. And, you know, real proud of her. I tell her that all the time. I'm real proud because it would have been very easy her freshman year because she didn't play a lot. Where Jalen played a lot her freshman year. To me, it didn't. And so now a lot of people worried that she was going to leave and this kind of stuff. And so we have our end of the year meeting with her after her freshman year, after we get beat by Colorado. And you don't really know this day and age of how those meetings are going to go. You think, okay, she's happy, but then you don't know do they come in. And she comes in, and a lot of players should take this approach that she took. She didn't run from it. She just said, look, I didn't play a lot this year. I understand that. But I'm going to work so hard that you have no choice but to play me next season. And we looked at her and said, okay, meeting's over. Can't wait to see you do that. And she did that. She was one of our hardest workers, and she went from playing 7 minutes a night to playing 37 minutes a night and was an all-league player. At one point in the conference championship game, she scored 10 straight points in the second half that kind of created the separation. And you talk about players that are going to be pros. She legitimately has a chance to be drafted into the WNBA draft and do a lot of great things.
When you say they're going to work hard, do you guys give them a plan?
We talked to them about it. We talked to them about what that looks like and working smart and not just going into the gym because a trainer, you'll see trainers have them doing all these cone dribbles and all that. Does that really, translate to a game? You know,
So you and I laugh at it.
Yeah.
you see us laughing because you know, I'm around it, and I see all these people training.
Yeah.
I have all these devices.
Yeah.
And I'm going, that's not, it's not even realistic.
Yeah. And there's a guy in New York City named Jerry Powell, and Jerry's a close friend of mine, and I've got to know him from recruiting up there and different players that he trains and does things with. And I enjoy going to watch him train. And when I go watch him train, he trains Kevin Durant. He does things with he's done things with Chris Paul. I mean, he's had a bunch of them. LeBron. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff with the different players. He doesn't have cones out. He doesn't have them jumping over things and doing all this stuff. It's he told me one time, can you get to the rim? Can you get open on the perimeter in a one-on-one setting? Can you get to the rim and score with 1 or 2 dribbles and get an and one against contact? Can you come off a ball screen and make the right reads? That's the 3 things he said. If they can do those 3 things, they probably can play for you. And can you make an open catch-and-shoot jumper? And you don't see a lot of cones. You don't see all that. Nowadays, you get on Instagram and you see everybody doing all these cones and all that. Tamia, when I watch Tamia work out, that's the things that she does. And when we get her in the gym and she works out, or she's working out with her brother, which she does a lot of things with her brother and her dad and those guys, it's catch and shoot jumpers. It's 1 or 2 dribble pull-up jumpers. It's getting by you, going to the rim, cutting your angle. It's coming off ball screens. Is there things she still's got to get better at? Yeah, like one of the things she's got to continue to grow at is with her left hand. And we can talk to her about that is we've got to be as good as she was this year of attacking right and doing things like that. We've got to be as good with that left hand next year. And we got to see that growth if you want to be a pro. And one of our girls was in the hit on this about trainer. I saw one of our girls the other day. She was shooting step back jumpers and doing all this other stuff. And I brought her in. I said, look, I'm really, really happy that you're working hard. I don't want you to take this the wrong way. You're working really, really hard, and I'm real happy about that. But are you working smart? And it wasn't to me. It's another one of our players. And I was like, can you make a catch and shoot 3 at a 35 to 40%? Can you do that? Well, no, I can't do that. Can you go off the bounce and get to the rim in a one-on-one setting and get an and one at the rim? Well, no, I can't do that. So we named about 3 things, and I said, so let's work on those things. Not a step-back jumper. That's a very hard shot, by the way, as you well know. And the elite of the elite have a hard time making some of those. Let's work on those things to get better at those things. And then we can get better at those things, and then we can start working on other things. And, that's the type of stuff that we talk to them about. And Tamia is one of those players that works smart. She doesn't work just to work. She don't go into the gym and work for an hour and say, hey, I worked out for an hour, and she worked on a million different things. She goes in and works on the things that's going to help her win games. It's going to help us win games. It's going to help her play for 10 more years after she leaves here. And so, I'm really excited about what next year looks like for her, because you get these questions all the time. Who's going to take over Savannah Wheeler's this, or Courtney Whitson leaving? Who's going to take that? It's not always who comes in to replace them. It's other players on the roster that take on a bigger role. And maybe their role wasn't, maybe Tamia's role wasn't to go and get 18, but maybe it is next year. That kind of thing.
Your dad's always had that.
Mm-hmm.
From the very first time player come in, Chrissy Givens is one of that was just a defensive player.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just blows her up into this monster of a player to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's always done it. And the reason why is what you guys do in the off season is so important, and not just getting in the gym, but working at the things you need to work at.
Working at the things you need to work at. And we're recruiting a point guard right now to come in next year. And that was what excited me more than anything about her. When I was on the phone with her last night, because we're in some weird dead period now starting today for some crazy, right in the middle of recruiting the portal, recruiting for 2025s. The NCAA puts a week-long dead period in for women's basketball coaches that we cannot talk to recruits for this whole week. Well, they tell you, well, you should go on vacation. Well, I've got my kids are in school. can't go on vacation in the 1st of May. I mean, and so it's just weird there. But the one thing that excited me the most, and she said, Coach Matt, if I come to Middle Tennessee, can you and I do an individual workout every morning before I have to go to class? I said, yes, 100%. Let's go ahead and put that down. Let's go ahead and put the time down. Let's go ahead and do it. That tells me that she wants to work to get better and be smart about getting better. And when you do an individual workout, if I'm going to do an individual workout with a player at 8 in the morning before her 9 o'clock class, we're not just getting in there to work on just to say we got in there to work. We're going to get in there, and if it's shooting, if it's 1 or 2 dribble pull-ups, is it ball handling, whatever it shall be, as it finishes at the rim, and we're going to work on those things. And Tom Hodges and Nina Davis do an incredible job with our post players and doing things with them. And then Kim and myself work with the guards. I also work with the post when need be as well. But when we get in with our players, we're going to go into work at it and not just say, well, let's work for an hour. We may work for 25 minutes and get everything done that we need to get done, and hey, go to class, that kind of thing. And so that's the type of players that we want in our program, that want that. If this recruit I was talking to, if she tells me, well, Coach, I have this, or I have to do that, I have to do this or that, probably if you're going to play the point guard, you're going to have to watch film. You're going to have to know every little thing about our team and the other team. We used to say this about, Dad used to get on Dorsar about this a lot. She would try to go through the whole playbook in the first quarter, our whole playbook. And we're running things and it's working, and she's calling something on the floor that's totally different. And so they come to the bench and he's, raising a little cane with her about it. And she's like, Coach, I'm just trying to figure out how they're guarding everything we do. Well, let's don't do that when we've scored 7 straight times in this offense, But, that's the kind of mentality that she had as a point guard was, I want to know when we go to special, or I want to know if we're going to H or we're going to head tap or ear. I want to know right now in my mind how they're going to guard that in the 4th quarter. So let me figure it out right here in the 1st quarter of the game, So that's the thing that you want from our point guards and how they think. Another player we haven't talked a lot about is Anastasia Boldareva. And her how she's
her and Tia both just to me.
Yeah, we had a player just leave us, went to the portal. Her backup, one of her backups, that was also from Russia as well. She didn't understand that how the time it took Anastasia to get to where she's at. Anastasia didn't just start playing 30 minutes a night. Her freshman year, she played 12 or 13 minutes a night. Now she started, but she played 12 or 13 minutes. And one of the biggest reasons she started was that she's 6'6", and we needed some size in there. And she said this her freshman year, said, the only reason y'all started me is to get the tip. I said, well, we haven't got a tip. So I don't think that that's the only reason you're starting. And now she gets them all. But she's progressed from playing 12 or 13 minutes to 17 or 18 minutes to 30 minutes this year, and now projected to be a first-round pick in next year's WNBA draft, and just a dominant force in women's basketball. She ranked in She ranked the top 5 in block shots. She was Defensive Player of the Year in our league, and one of the things everybody's like, she's not our best one-on-one defensive player. Our guards are able to pressure so much out front and deny so much out front, because if they come to her, she's going to block the shot. And she gets everybody at the rim, gets timid around her. And when we need a basket, that's who we go to. We go to her on the block. And as you well know, them are easy baskets.
Yeah, people just don't understand, I think, all the nuances of a game like that. Mm-hmm. Is that it's the same way with Zach Eady, with my cousin Matt Painter.
Yep.
They could do a lot of gambling out front because he's at the rim. But looking at her, what's her next what does she have to work on?
Just the one thing we're going to start working with a lot on this summer is facing up out on the floor. She can score it around the basket, continue to help her strength, but and she saw that a little bit last year where she was making some threes, and she shot the 3 at a 40% clip. But we want her to continue to do that and take more of those, not to fall in love with it, because she wants, as every post player, they think they're a point guard. But your bread is buttered inside, but being able to step out when you get somebody bigger on you and being able to take them off the bounce at her size because she's athletic and she can do those kind of things. That's the stuff that we'll work a lot with her this summer on. And she wants that. She wants that. And I'll tell you this, she's a very loyal person. And we have a great relationship. I can still remember the first time the Zoom we had with her. She couldn't say anything in English. And her and I and our whole staff, we all have a great relationship with her. And when you say the portal and people trying to get somebody to leave and things like that, they were a bunch of them calling. And you should see her inbox of people trying to hit her up from these collectives and trying to get her to leave and calling her people and all that. And she chose to stay. And she chose to stay because she loves Murfreesboro and she loves our program. She loves the people here. She loves her boyfriend that's here. She's the one thing about her, we're going to see her for a long time because this is where she wants to live for the rest of her life. She loves the Middle Tennessee community. She loves everything about here. She's got a boyfriend that she cares a lot about, and his family has been really good to her, and they travel and watch her. She's going home, for the people at home that's watching this, for the first time in her time here this week.
I don't think people really grasp that. At a young girl, 18 years old, leaves home.
Hasn't seen her mom, her dad, or her grandparents in 3 years.
You and I would go nuts. Because we're family-oriented that way, and so is she. But, good for her, and I hope she just has a great trip.
Yeah,
right?
She's excited about it. We're nervous about it, just because of everything that's going on overseas, and but she's excited, and as their coaches, it's like, you know what, you need to go and see your family. When we went to the Bahamas, we had to go. Her and I and Kim Bruton stood outside the American Embassy for about an hour and a half in rain, and it was coming down, and it was knee deep, standing in water, waiting for her to be able to go into the American Embassy to get her passport updated because she hasn't been home in America. They can't update her passport, but she can update it at an embassy internationally. And so we had to do that in the Bahamas while we're trying to play games and the team's back over practicing. She's over standing outside an embassy trying to get her passport updated and all that. And the people there were great. Our senators and Congress people here in the States were great at helping us get all of that done. And by doing that, then it allowed her to go home here this month. And so she's going home for the whole month. She's taking her boyfriend with her. She's going to go see her mom, her dad, her grandparents, and she's going to have a great time at home. And then she'll be back in June. If not, as Dad says, he's flying me to Russia to go get her.
Just one more stamp in your book for you.
Exactly. But she'll be back in June, and we're excited for her. And Stacy, our other Russian girl, went home too, and so she redshirted this year. A lot of people don't know about her. She's a freshman. In our practice setting, she's a 6'1", 6'2". She reminds us a lot of Ksenia Malaska. She was one of our better players in practice, but we redshirted her this year, so we're excited about her as well.
All right, we're going to take a break and be right back.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Online at rayburn.net.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
Spring has sprung, and that means it's time to start planning for your summer road trips. With Bud's Tire Pros by your side, your vehicle will be ready to see the mountains, the beaches, and everything in between. With Bud's Tire Pros' full line of Michelin tires and products, you'll have the peace of mind to hit the road no matter what you drive. Bud's Tire Pros is only 3.5 miles from the Murfreesboro Square. Call Bud's Tire Pros at 896-TIRE or online, Bud's Tire Pros, TN.com.
It's a block party Saturday, May 11th, and everybody's invited at the City of Laverne's Veterans Memorial Park. From food trucks to vendors offering dazzling accessories, it'll all be a part of the fun. And don't forget the Touch-A-Truck event. This event gives children of all ages an opportunity to explore different kinds of vehicles while meeting the people who operate them.
I drive that truck over there.
Cool truck.
Here's what this switch does. Watch, I'll hit this button.
Saturday, May 11th at the City of Laverne's Veterans Memorial Park.
Do you have over $10,000 in credit card debt? If you're feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, DebtBlue is here for you. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved.
I'm just living sky high right now. I'm very thankful for it, and the team at DebtBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back in. I'm Andy Herzer, founder and executive director of First Shot. Matt, this hour's gone by quickly for me. I always enjoy our conversation. You have so much substance as a young man, a young coach. And let's kind of highlight a few more players, and then let's talk about the state of women's college basketball.
You know, we're Jada Granum, a backup post player that hasn't played a lot through her career, but has played enough. When she plays, people get real excited because they see what she can do. Has worked hard this offseason, is coming back for her 5th year. And so she'll be in there, 6'4", out of Canada. Great person, great family. We're expecting a big year for her. Gracie Dodge and Gracie Hamby, both of them are working themselves back from knee injuries and have worked hard and have got themselves back in shape. And this summer is going to be a big summer for them. And we're excited about what that looks like for them. This as we head into the off season. And then, you know, we signed a local girl, Emily Munson, that just transferred back from Purdue, and at 6'1", long. You know, we're expecting big things from her. We're excited about her. We're excited about where she's at. I went and watched her play a high school game her senior year, and I was going over to watch. It was Oakland and Blackman playing, big game, and I said, you know, I need to go watch his high school game. My wife goes with me, and she looks at me and she said, man, you missed on this one. I was like, well, thanks for reminding me. You know, that's what our wives are. Thanks for reminding me that we missed on her, because she played really well that night, and we missed on her. And she went to Purdue. She committed to Purdue and signed with them. And in the back of my mind, I thought, you know, maybe she'll come home. If she decides to come home, we got to get her. And she came over and visited us the other day and had several other visits from really good programs set. And she decided to cancel those and come to us, and we were ecstatic about that. I think she has a huge future with us, a huge future. Alina Enrique, a kid we signed from Texas Tech, will be a 4-player, and she's the one player in our league over the last 2 years that we couldn't do anything with. And she played at UTEP her sophomore year, and was first team all league and was dominant, scored 20 plus every time they played us. She was defensive player of the year in our league as well. She's about 6'2". She goes to Texas Tech, plays 19 minutes a night, just didn't really fit their system. And I told her, I was sitting on the putting green at Riverbend Country Club when she called me and told me she was going to Texas Tech. We tried to get her a year ago. And I said, you'll probably be calling me to tell me you want to come back to us because I don't think you fit their system. And she said, maybe so. So she goes there and plays 19 minutes a night and really liked it, loved it there, but didn't fit their system and didn't get really what she wanted out of that. And we beat Louisville and my phone's ringing on the bus on the way back to the hotel. I haven't checked the portal. The portal was open during that time. We were excited about the game, and it was her. And I said, "Hey, Alina, what's going on?" And she said, "Well, congratulations on the win. I said, appreciate it." And she said, "Well, I just want to let you know you were right. I'm back in the portal." I said, "Well, we want you." And so she decided to come to us, and we're ecstatic about her. I think she's going to have a big year. We'll have the 2023 Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year and the 2024 Defensive Player of the Year, both on our team next year. And they're both, Alina's about 6'3", Nas is 6'6", and they're both inside. So people better get ready. We're going to pressure a lot outside because we're going to funnel into those big girls inside.
So for those that are watching, this is streamed.
Yeah.
You should have seen Coach Insell's eyes and smile about the inside presence that they're going to have next year. Matt, again, you guys and your dad have created such a culture here, and people are, doesn't matter where you go, people are talking about you. And I think that's kind of the state of college basketball. It's in a really, women's college basketball is in really good shape.
It is, and I say this, we have Caitlin Clark to thank for a lot of it. And she's a generational player, but at the same time, she's grown the game nationally in terms of a fan perspective. And we need her. I say this to our players: we need her to do well in the WNBA. And not only her, but you're starting to get those superstars like that in women's basketball. We haven't had that in a long time. And to go and play, for us to be able to go and play a neutral site game in Huntsville, Alabama against the University of Tennessee and have 6,000 or 7,000 people show up to that game on a Thursday night, I think it was, in December, or it was a Wednesday night in December, that says a lot about women's basketball and how important it is at our university, how important it is across the country, because you're having 6,000 or 7,000 people show up for a neutral site game in a state that neither one of us are in.
So I go to the Final Four. Men's Final Four, right? There's more Caitlin Clark jerseys than any jersey.
Yep.
And that's Zach Edey. That's any of the guys playing at any of the schools.
It is. And it's for me, I have a 3-year-old daughter that, runs around the house and says she's Caitlin Clark. She also says she's Tamia Scott and Jalen Gregory and whoever it shall be. But that's what you're seeing now. And, I was looking on social media Friday night where people were like, it's a rain delay at a track meet, but it's okay because I'm watching the WNBA preseason game. When is people watching a WNBA preseason game?
A sold out.
WNBA preseason game.
A sold out. That's what people, they need to hear, because once that starts to happen, then the dollars start to flow.
It does.
And when the dollars start to flow, the health of women's basketball is going to grow.
It will, and a lot of people, lots been talked about our game at LSU, and referees or whatever they want to talk about, all that. The atmosphere at that game was unbelievable. It was one of the loudest atmospheres ever been in. The buzz in that arena during warm-ups, it still gives me chill bumps now, because it felt like the buzz of a what you would think a Duke versus Carolina buzz is, or a Purdue versus UConn buzz in warm-ups, and the way the people were acting and the way things, the crowd's involvement, our crowd at that game, the people that traveled down there to that, that was a big-time environment. And that's something that our players that I will remember and our staff will remember forever. But you're seeing that in all these arenas. I just saw where the Atlanta Dream sold out their season ticket allotment. Obviously, Indiana has sold theirs out. Chicago has sold theirs out. You're starting to see all of that love for it. The Las Vegas Aces, what a great ambassador we have of Alicia Clark of our program. And
unbelievable. And
not only our program, but the mid-state, the state of Tennessee, a Mountain Juliet product that's done what she's done. And the game is growing. The popularity of the game is growing. You have more of the common fan, they say, that usually wouldn't go to a women's basketball game. I'm walking my kids through the neighborhood last night. There's an open house. They built 7 new homes in our neighborhood, and if you want to buy one, my wife's a real estate agent. She would love to sell you one. But
hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Give her number.
Yeah,
Give Autumn's number.
It's 662-414-8585. She'll sell you one of those homes in our neighborhood. But she was doing an open house at one of the homes, and my son and daughter and I were walking down the street, and a guy comes up to us and says, "Look, I've never really watched women's basketball, but I watched it this year, and I watched you all play. I'm buying season tickets next year. I won't miss a game." And, that's the thing. If you just come to the game, you'll enjoy it. And, we're having a lot more of that. And it's not just happening here. It's happening all over. And you want to see it continue to grow. We don't need to go to Belmont and play at Belmont, and we have more fans travel from Middle Tennessee than they have. Come on. Their fans need to get into it, or Lipscomb's fans, or Tennessee Tech, or wherever it shall be. And that's the one luxury we have. Our fans do travel, but we went to play at Western this year. And we all know how we don't like Western. But I bet we had 700, 800 people go up there from Middle Tennessee to watch the game. We had more people there than Western did. But that shows how people care about our program. And Derek Mason made a comment to us one time. He said, "Y'all's fans don't think that y'all can play without them there." Well, they're right. I don't think we can play if they're not there either. And so, we want them to be there, and we want them to be a part of it. And when women's basketball, one of the things that we try to do is involve the community a lot. And when the game is over, we'll have anywhere from 50 to 60 little girls ranging from the age of 2 to 12 in our locker room, and we tell them to come in. And if you don't get in the breakdown huddle with us, then you got to get out, no matter who it is. What we're trying to do with those little girls is those little girls are growing up wanting to be the next Jalen Gregory, or the next Tamia Scott, or the next Anastasia Boldareva, and we want them to be thinking that way.
Well, again, your ladies represent themselves so well, Matt, out in the community, that people really do. They fall in love with them and adopt them. All you have to do is follow on Facebook and see the love that the fans have for these young ladies. But also you guys have been out in our community. You shake hands. You guys come to my event. You don't have to. You're busy. You're already working 90 to 100 hours a week. I don't expect you to, but you do. So why is that so important after 19 years that Coach is still doing that?
Because the job's not done. And, we want to be able to walk out at Murphy Center. I think we finished 16th or 17th in the nation this year in attendance. Can we get to a top 10 in attendance? Can we get another 1,000 in there? What drives, people ask all the time, why is your dad why he needs to retire? He's 71, 72 years old. Why isn't he retired? Well, his job's not done. And he's still got the energy every day to get in there and to do it. And as he says, until that energy runs out, he's going to do it. And he came here and he said he wants to get this program to a Sweet 16 and Elite 8. We believe that we can do that. Our players believe that we can do that. When we played LSU, there was hurt in that locker room. We were not happy to be in the second round. We were not happy that we got to play in that game. We wanted to win that game, and we believed that we could win that game. Now, that not a lot of people believed that we could, but as you watch that game, that's the one thing Coach Mulkey said in her post-game press conference is, we just played a team that believed they were better than us, and they showed that they could play with us every step of that game. And even the final score wasn't what the game was if you really watched the game. And the job's not done for us, and we're still working hard every day to get more people to come out and to continue to grow this game. And that's the one thing that we're all a part of Coach Summit, and that's the one thing that she and Dad and her were real close friends. And she told Dad, even to her later days there, that, hey, just as long as you can do it, continue to try to grow this game. And a lot of people want to get in the game because, I can make money, or I can do that, or are you really in it for the right reasons? Do you really want to coach women's basketball, or are you just doing it because you can make good money at it? Because the one thing that we're about is growing this game and giving these women more opportunities. And with the NIL now, the opportunity for that is the ceiling is extremely high for our young ladies, because, like you said, they represent the university really well. They represent themselves really well. They're great people. why wouldn't you, as a business or an organization, want them to represent you?
It's exactly right, and it is the arms race now,
Mm-hmm.
the collective. And again, if you're interested in helping out, you're a business owner, you want somebody to represent you well, I'm sure that Coach Insell and Matt will get you to the right place. But these young ladies have been phenomenal. And then you've got some of your old people like Anne Marie and Pickle, and
Mm-hmm.
they're in this community, and Amanda.
Yeah.
And they're rooting for you in such an unbelievable way. And it's just when you have past players speak that way, Matt, speaks volumes about you and your dad.
Well, Anne-Marie, there's not a game we play that she's not there. And not only is she there as a former athlete and a fan, but she's also there as a mentor to our young women. And she talks to them. She has conversations with them. She has great relationships with them. She's been there. She's done what they've done. Alicia Clark, no matter when, if she could be playing in the WNBA finals, I'll shoot her a text and say, hey, Jalen Gregory or Anastasia Bolraver or Courtney Whitson or Tamia Scott is struggling. Do you mind to shoot her a message? But before she even answers and tells me that she can do it, she's already told me, I've done it. I just talked to him. Well, you play here in about an hour. I know, but I wanted to talk to them. And so you got all of that happening, and it's Anne-Marie, Jackie, all of them do that, and we're just very fortunate.
Well, again, Matt, I want to say thank you for coming in. We're going to do this again.
Yes, anytime.
This hour went by, and I didn't get to everything I wanted to get. You guys, again, I'm going to say it one more time. If you want to help out, the way you can help out is help the collective grow in our community so we can continue to grow women's college basketball. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
And we'll do it soon.
Thank you.